Welcome back to the channel, y'all. In this video, I'll share with you guys, here's another good product that you can use to straighten out the cheap headlights on the newer cars these days, guys. Like I always tell you guys, stop playing with it. These lights are made cheap. They just made cheap. Alright? I always tell y'all that they made cheap. So they eventually, all these new cars, man, they made cheap. They ain't made like the heavy duty like that Crown Vic right there. It made cheap. Alright, so here, as y'all know, from trees and environmental fallouts and traffic film and pretty much these plastic old cheap headlights turn yellow. They turn yellow quick, and a lot of time depends on the climate that you're in, where you're in more of a milder, more kind of moist climate. Let's say like Florida or somewhere where there's a lot of water. They probably tends to turn yellow even quicker, So the old cheap lights, that's the way of the world now. Not like that good heavy duty stuff like this car right here, man. They ain't made like that no more. They made cheap. Alright, so we're gonna use this meguiar's 2.0 here. We'll simply work this in on the applicator with this applicator on the light. Work on this old cheap light. I'll show y'all little ropes. A quick way to bring your lights back out. Not only that it improve your driving ability at night, it also help your car look better in the daytime too, as well as it improve their driving versatility at night. But like I always tell you guys, they just made cheap. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no other way I can really put it. I got to call it the way it is. They made cheap. All these new cars made cheap. They charge a lot of money for cheap pieces of plastic. Old cheap bumpers and stuff. They made cheap. They ain't made good like them Crown Vics from the 90s, 91s. They made cheap. Alright, y'all might well admit it. They made cheap. I don't care if it's a 2024. It made cheap. They cut corners, man. But they charge you a lot of money for it. For a cheap piece of plastic that'll fall off if you're doing it, kick the bumper, and it'll fall right off the darn thing. They made cheap. Alright, so let's go ahead and bump this off here. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Stop playing with it. Y'all know I'm telling y'all the truth. Y'all know these cars made cheap, man. Might well admit it. Ain't nothing we can do about it, though. No, they just cut corners and make everything cheap, Just telling the truth. Don't brag about these cars. These cars made cheap, man. You want to brag about something, brag about an old school car like this. You know what I'm saying? Old school, man. Them cars were made good right there. That Crown Vic, 1991 Crown Vic. Them cars right there were made. Look at the steel bumpers and stuff. Look at the tail light. Look how hard the body look. You know what I'm saying? He hit something, ain't gonna do too much damage. Hit something with this one, tear it all the freaking pieces. Bunch of plastic, man. You can down there kick the bumper off of it. Look at here. Down there kick the bumper off, but that one there ain't gonna buzz. Cause you know why? The newer cars made cheap. Alright, so let's go ahead and apply another coat of the meguiar Scratch X 2.0. I know y'all like hear me preach that sermon, don't you? Telling y'all the truth. I know the dealerships and stuff like that ain't gonna tell you. So y'all had to come to my channel, I'll tell you. They made cheap, man. Most of the newer cars, 2007, 6, 5s on up to 2023 and 4s. Cars from the last 20 years made cheap. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you the truth. To get a truly solid car, you got to go back into the 80s and 90s, man. To get a really solid car. And some of them made cheap. Alright, so let's get it. Depends on the brand, but that Crown Vic, them Cadillacs and stuff like that made solid. The Cadillac made solid over there. Y'all know what Cadillac I'm talking about. Let's put this stuff up here. Now this will improve your lights a lot, guys. If your lights turning yellow, because most of these cheap lights gonna turn at some point. No matter what you do, they just made so cheap. Ain't too much you really can do about it. You know, can't help the manufacturers just cut corners. Made everything so freaking cheap now that ain't no help. It's just crazy. You know, y'all think they look good. 2023, they look good. It made cheap though. Soon deer hit it, total lost the darn thing though. But paying all that money and soon deer hit it, almost totaled the daggone car. Y'all know. Stop playing with him. Stop playing with him. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Pay all that money every month. Soon when deer hit the car, almost total loss. And then the man tells us, damn, I almost total lost this darn car. Hey. But it hit that Crown Vic right there. The deer might bend it, but I guarantee you won't total lost it. Because these cars are made so hard. It can take an impact better because how hard steel bumpers and stuff. That's why. It ain't like the old cheap cars now, you know. Hit deer hit it, man. The car total. That's it. Carried on to the scrap, yo. It's total. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Carried on to the scrap, yo. It's a total loss. Ain't no help for it. A deer done total that darn thing, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Deer done totaled it. But you can see that light looks better. Like I said, now most of the conversation is on the inside of this light. You can see like the rain spots there on the inside. Pretty much the outside of the light is pretty clean and slick. But you can see it's good enough at night. I mean, you can see through there pretty good. See here, it wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't have no driving versatility. It's not that cloudy where you couldn't see out in at night, you know. But you can see how cheap they made. Look at how eyes broke all up in here. Look at it. Cheap, man. Cheap. 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 See? Made cheap. You can see it cracked all up in here. It's cheap, man. They made cheap. I'm telling the truth. CHEAP. Cheap. This stuff made cheap, man. They don't make these cars like these right here. They ain't made good like these Crown Vic. These cars made cheap, man. Yes, sir. Stop playing with him. Y'all know I'm telling y'all the truth. Yeah, look how the light fell all out right here. With cheap made. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Look, cheap. I'm eventually just pull these lights out and put new ones in here. They made so cheap. Just have a little fun cleaning them up. But yeah, they gonna turn yellow. They just cheap. Y'all hit that subscribe, man. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace, peace, peace.